You just bought a brand new Porsche for your banker. You didn't know it. You never signed a paper for a car. You never got the keys. But 20 years ago, you signed a contract that transferred that wealth from your pocket to his. Today, we are taking the keys back. Welcome to the fee virus. If you think a 1% fee on your investments is small or cheap, you are hallucinating. The financial industry relies on the fact that the human brain cannot understand exponential math. They know that if they took $150,000 from your account today, you would call the police. So instead, they take it very slowly, $5 here, $20 there, every single month, for 30 years. They call it management fees. I call it the retirement heist. Let's look at the crime scene. Stop scrolling. Look at the screen. I want you to visualize a brand new Porsche 911 sitting in your driveway. Shiny paint, leather seats, the smell of success. It represents the retirement you think you are saving for, the freedom, the reward for 40 years of waking up at 6 a.m. while your back hurts. Now watch closely. See the front bumper? Snap. It just vanished. Now the doors. Gone. The engine block. Turned to dust. You didn't crash this car. You didn't sell it. You didn't even drive it. You just paid for it. This isn't magic. It is simple, brutal arithmetic. And right now, inside your 401k, there are invisible termites eating the chassis of your future life. One tiny unnoticed bite at a time, you are being robbed right now as we speak. And the worst part? You probably thanked the thief and shook his hand. The financial industry has fed you a very specific, very dangerous lie. They look you in the eyes and say, it's only 1%. They say it casually, like it's nothing. Our management fee is just 1%. 1% sounds like a penny. It sounds like a rounding error. If you buy a latte for $5, you don't scream over 5 cents. So you sign the paper. You nod. You feel responsible. You feel safe. But here's what they didn't tell you. And listen to me, because your future self is currently screaming at you to pay attention. They are not taking 1% of your profit. They are taking 1% of your total capital every single year, regardless of whether the market goes up, down, or sideways. Even if you lose money, they get paid. Let's look at the math, because the math has no feelings. Math doesn't care about your hopes, your dreams, or your grandkids. Math only cares about variables. Let's say you are a late starter. You are 45 years old. You have managed to scrape together a portfolio, and you are adding to it. Let's project a hypothetical portfolio of $500,000 over the next 20 years. In scenario A, you are smart. You are a hacker. You pay 0.5% in fees because you watch this channel. In scenario B, you are normal. You pay 2.5%. That's the average when you stack up the fund fees, the advisor fees, and the administration costs. The difference is just 2%, right? Wrong. That is the trap. Over 20 years, that tiny 2% difference doesn't cost you a few $1,000s. It costs you over $150,000. Let that number sink in. $150,000. That is not a fee. That is a Ferrari. That is a college education for your grandchild. That is 5 years of freedom. Gone. Vaporized into the pockets of a fund manager who performed worse than a blindfolded monkey throwing darts at a stock page. This is called reverse compound interest. You know, compound interest is the 8th wonder of the world when it works for you. Well, fees work the same way, but they work for the bank. When you pay that fee today, you aren't just losing that dollar. You are losing every dollar that dollar would have earned for the next 20 years. You are killing the seeds before they can grow into a forest. The system relies on your apathy. They rely on you looking at 1.5% and thinking, looks small. That is not a bug in the software. That is the main feature. The entire financial industry is designed to make expensive things look cheap by using percentages instead of dollars. Think about it. If your advisor sent you a bill every month for $500 for doing absolutely nothing, you would fire them tomorrow. You would call the police. But because they take it quietly from the back end, invisible and silent, you let it happen. It is not your fault that you fell for this. The game is rigged. But now you know, and now it is your problem. We are going to stop this bleeding. We are going to fire the termites. But before we can fix it, you need to understand exactly how the machine is built to extract your wealth. In the next few minutes, we are going to tear apart the engine of the American retirement system and show you exactly where the leaks are. Stay with me. The resistance starts now. Welcome back to the crime scene. Before, we watched your Porsche disintegrate. Now, we are going to open the hood of the engine that destroyed it. We are going inside. The American 401k. Most people treat their 401k like a piggy bank. You put money in, it sits there, you take it out later. That is cute, but it is wrong. Your 401k is not a piggy bank. It is a commercial product. It is a shelf in a supermarket. And every single mutual fund sitting on that shelf had to pay rent to be there. Guess who pays that rent? You do. Let's talk about the expense ratio. This is the number they actually show you. You log in, you click on a fund, and you see 0.8%. You think, okay, that pays the guy picking the stocks. Wrong. That number is just the tip of the iceberg. Under the water, there is a dark, complex ecosystem of kickbacks and hidden wires designed to bleed you dry. The first dirty secret is called revenue sharing, specifically the 12B1 fee. This is a marketing fee. Yes, you heard me. You are paying a fee to market the fund to yourself. But in a 401k, it works like a bribe. The mutual fund company says to your 401k provider, hey, put our expensive fund on the employee menu, and we will kick back 0.5% of the assets to you every year. It is a conflict of interest so obvious it should be illegal. Your plan provider isn't picking the best funds for you. They are picking the funds that pay them the highest kickback. You are eating at a restaurant where the waiter recommends the lobster, not because it's fresh, but because the chef pays him $20 every time someone orders it. Then we have the record-keeping fee. This is the cost for the website, the statements, and the legal compliance. It costs the provider about the same amount of money to send an email to a guy with $10,000 as it does to a guy with $1 million. It should be a flat fee, like Netflix. You pay a subscription. But in many bad plans, this fee is asset-based. They charge you a percentage of your life savings just to keep the lights on. Imagine if Netflix charged you based on how much money you had in your bank account. Oh, you got a raise. Your Netflix subscription is now $500 a month. That sounds insane, right? But that is exactly what is happening to your retirement account right now. The richer you get, the more they punish you. And here is the kicker. You probably won't find these fees on your main dashboard. They hide them. To see the truth, you have to dig for a specific, legally required document called the 404A-5 Participant Fee Disclosure. It sounds boring on purpose. They want you to fall asleep before you open it. But that document is the Rosetta Stone. It is the only place where the cockroaches have nowhere to hide. In that document, look for the expense ratio column. If you see anything over 1.5%, you are being fleeced. Look for administrative expenses. If you see a percentage instead of a flat dollar amount, you are being punished for succeeding. The machine is not broken. It is working exactly as designed. It is designed to transfer wealth from the late starter who is panicking and saving hard to the system that controls the menu. But now you have the flashlight. You know where the leaks are. In the next video, we are going to talk about the human element, the friendly advisor who claims to be your financial doctor, but is actually a pharmaceutical sales rep in a nice suit. But for now, I want you to find that 404A5 document. Find it, read it, and get angry. Fix the machine. We have plugged the leaks in your 401k. But now, we have to deal with the person standing next to the machine, the friendly advisor. This is the hardest pill to swallow because you like this person. They send you a birthday card. They know your kids' names. They play golf at your club. They look you in the eye and say, I'll take care of everything. And you trust them because finance is scary and having a guide feels safe. But I need you to understand something very painful. Nice people can still rob you. In fact, Nice people are much better at it than mean people. Here is the problem. In the United States, there are two types of financial professionals, but they both wear the same suit. Type 1 is a fiduciary. By law, they must act in your best interest. If product A is better for you than product B, they must sell you product A. Type 2 is a broker or a dealer. They operate under a different rule called the suitability standard. This rule is a joke. It says that as long as an investment is suitable for you, meaning it won't immediately bankrupt you, they can sell it to you, even if there is a cheaper, better option available. Think of it like this. A fiduciary is a dietitian. They tell you to eat broccoli because it keeps you alive. A broker is a butcher. He tells you to buy the steak because, well, he sells steak. And if he has a lot of old steak he needs to get rid of. Guess what you are having for dinner? But the real heist isn't just what they sell you, it is how they charge you. The standard model in the industry is called AUM, Assets Under Management. They usually charge 1%. Again, that tiny number. Let's say you are a successful late starter. You have managed to save $1 million. Your advisor charges 1%. That means you are writing him a check for $10,000 every single year. For what? Did he work $10,000 worth of hours? No. He probably rebalanced your portfolio once, which takes a computer 5 minutes, and took you out to lunch. That is a very expensive lunch. It gets worse. The AUM model is a tax on success. If your portfolio grows to $2 million, his fee doubles to $20,000. Did he do twice as much work? No. Did he get twice as smart? No. He just gave himself a 100% raise using your money. Compare this to any other profession. If you need heart surgery, the surgeon charges you a fee. If you are a billionaire, the surgery doesn't cost 10 times more than if you are a millionaire. The work is the same, but in finance, they penalize you for winning. And here is the dirtiest secret of the AUM model. It creates a massive conflict of interest regarding your debt. Let's say you have $200,000 in your investment account, and you still owe $200,000 on your mortgage at a high interest rate. The mathematical hacker move might be to pay off the house to guarantee a return and lower your risk. But if you ask your AUM advisor, he will almost always say, no, don't pay off the debt. Keep the money invested with me. We can beat the market. Why does he say that? Is it math? No, it's rent. If you take that money out to pay off your house, his assets under management drop to zero. His fee drops to zero. He effectively fires himself. So he advises you to stay in debt so he can keep collecting his rent. You don't need a babysitter who takes a percentage of your life. You need a flat fee advisor, someone you pay by the hour or by the project, like a lawyer or an architect. You pay them $2,000 or $5,000 for a plan, and then you execute it. The friendly advisor is not your friend. He is a toll booth on the road to your retirement, and you have been stopped at that booth for 20 years. It is time to drive through the gate. And now we enter the casino. We are going to look at the active managers and the rock stars of Wall Street, and I am going to show you data that proves 89% of them are worse at their jobs than a literal coin toss. Welcome to the casino. You probably know it as Wall Street, but make no mistake, when you walk through these doors, you are not the player. You are not the high roller. You are the chips. In the previous videos, we stopped the leaks in your 401k and fired the toll booth advisor. Now we have to face the final boss, the active manager. This is the guy on the magazine cover, the stock-picking genius, the oracle. The industry spends billions of dollars on marketing to convince you that these people have a crystal ball. They tell you, the market is volatile. You need a professional captain to navigate the storm. It sounds logical. If my car breaks down, I hire a mechanic. If I get sick, I see a doctor. So if I want to grow money, I should hire an expert stock picker, right? Wrong. This is the only industry on earth where the experts consistently perform worse than a random accident. I am not giving you my opinion. I am giving you data. There is a scorecard called SPIVA, S&P Indices versus Active. It is the report card that Wall Street prays you never see. Let's look at the numbers for 2024. Over a 15-year period, what percentage of large-cap fund managers, the best of the best, failed to beat the simple, boring S&P 500 index? Was it 10%? 30%? No, it was over 89%. Let me repeat that. Nearly 9 out of 10 highly paid, suit-wearing, CNBC-appearing experts failed to beat a computer program that just buys the 500 biggest companies and goes to sleep. Imagine a school where 89% of the teachers failed the final exam. Would you send your kids there? Imagine an airline where 89% of the pilots couldn't land the plane. Would you buy a ticket? Of course not. But you are currently paying these people huge fees to lose your money. Why does this happen? Are they stupid? No. They are incredibly smart. That is the problem. The market is a zero-sum game. For one person to beat the market, someone else has to lose to the market. But here is the catch. Wall Street charges you huge fees to play the game. So the market return minus huge fees equals underperformance. It is a mathematical certainty. The house always takes its cut, and that cut ensures that the players as a group must lose. They will tell you, okay, maybe stocks are hard, but bonds are different. You need an active manager for bonds. Lie. The data shows the exact same failure rate in fixed income. They will tell you, but my guy is different. He beat the market last year. That is called luck, not skill. If I fill a stadium with 10,000 people and ask them to flip a coin, 5,000 will get heads. If they flip again, 2,500 will get heads. By the end of 10 flips, there will be 10 people who flipped heads 10 times in a row. Are they coin-flipping geniuses? No, they are just the statistical survivors. And next year, their luck will run out. But Wall Street will put those 10 survivors on a billboard and say, invest with the masters of the coin. So what is the solution? How do you win in a casino where the odds are rigged against you? It is very simple. You stop betting. You stop trying to pick the winning needle in the haystack. Instead, you buy the whole haystack. You buy the entire market using low-cost index funds or ETFs. You fire the active manager. You stop paying for the crystal ball that doesn't work. When you buy the index, you guarantee that you will get the market return. You become the house. You stop being the gambler and you start being the casino owner. And the casino owner always gets rich in the end. Now that we have dismantled the lies, the math, the machine, the advisor, and the manager, we are ready to attack. In the next video, I'm going to give you the hacker's toolkit. I will show you the specific US loopholes, like the Rule of 55 and the brokerage link that allows you to break out of the prison. Get your notebook ready. Class is in session. The system is designed to keep you trapped. They lock your money away, charge you fees to manage it, and penalize you if you try to touch it. But every prison has a back door. You just need the map. Welcome to the Hacker's Toolkit. Today, I am going to give you 3 specific cheat codes hidden inside the US tax code that your HR department probably doesn't even understand. Cheat code number 1, the Rule of 55. Most people think they can't touch their 401k money until age 59 and a half without paying a 10% penalty. That is true for an IRA, but the 401k has a special loophole. If you leave your job, whether you quit, get fired, or retire, in the calendar year you turn 55 or older, you can withdraw money from that specific employer's 401k penalty-free. Why does this matter? Because advisors love to tell you, roll over your old 401k to an IRA immediately. If you do that, you lose the Rule of 55 forever. You lock your money up for another 4 years. The hack: if you plan to retire early, or if you get laid off at 56, do not move that money. Keep it in the 401k to build a liquidity bridge until you hit 59 and a half. Cheat code number 2, brokerage link. This is the escape hatch. Let's say your company's 401k menu is terrible. High fees, bad funds. You feel stuck. Check your plan for an option called self-directed brokerage or brokerage link. About 40% of large plans have it, but they hide it in the fine print. This option allows you to open a window inside your 401k that gives you access to the entire stock market. Instead of buying the expensive Company Fund A with a 1% fee, you can buy a dirt cheap Vanguard or Fidelity ETF with a 0.03% fee. It's like finding a secret door in the school cafeteria that leads to a 5-star restaurant, and the food is free. Cheat code number 3, the catch-up supercharger. If you are over 50, the IRS admits that you are behind, so they give you a bigger bucket. In 2025, the standard limit is $23,500. But if you are 50 plus, you can add another $7,500. That is $31,000 of tax advantage space. But wait, there is a new super catch-up coming for people aged 60 to 63. The limits are even higher. The hack here is psychological. Most people see the limit as a maximum. I want you to see it as a target. Every dollar you put in here is a dollar the taxman can't touch right now. The system relies on you being passive. It relies on you clicking default and walking away. But you are not a tourist anymore. You are a hacker. You use the rule of 55 for flexibility. You use brokerage link to cut costs, and you use catch-up contributions to make up for lost time. Now you might be thinking, okay, I'm fixing my US accounts. But is it just us? Is America the only place with a rigged system? Oh no, the contagion is global. In the next video, we are going to take a rapid-fire tour of the horrors in Canada, the UK, and Australia to show you that the fee virus has infected the entire English-speaking world. If you are watching this from the United States, you might be thinking, wow, my system is corrupt. I should move to Canada, or Europe, or Australia. Surely they treat their citizens better. I have bad news. The virus is airborne. The fee virus ignores borders. It speaks every language, and in some places, the infection is even worse than in America. Let's start with our neighbors to the north. Canada. Oh, Canada. Beautiful mountains, polite people, and the most hostile investment fees in the developed world. In the US, we complain about a 1% fee. In Canada, the average mutual fund charges over 2%. They call it the MER, Management Expense Ratio. Inside that fee is something diabolical called a trailing commission. It is a kickback paid to your advisor every single year, for as long as you hold the fund, even if you never speak to them, even if they retire, even if they die. The money keeps flowing from your pocket to their ghost, and it gets worse. In 2026, the Canadian government is changing the tax rules on these commissions, effectively making them even more expensive. If you are a Canadian late starter holding mutual funds, you are trying to run a marathon while wearing a backpack filled with rocks. Now let's fly across the ocean to the United Kingdom. The British pride themselves on propriety. They have a rule called the charge cap. It says pension funds cannot charge more than 0.75%. Sounds fair, right? It is a lie. That cap excludes transaction costs. These are the costs the fund manager incurs when they buy and sell stocks. And guess what? They trade a lot. So while the brochure says 0.75%, the real cost can be double that. It is like ordering a meal for £10 and then getting a bill for $20 because the chef charged you for the electricity to cook it. The only place to find the truth is in a document called the chair's statement, but nobody reads it. It is buried in jargon, hidden in the fog of London, designed to make you give up. Finally, let's go down under to Australia. Australia has a system called superannuation. It is mandatory. It sounds great. But they introduced a new rule called stapling. In the past, when you got a new job, you got a new fund. Now, your old fund is stapled to you. It follows you from job to job. This sounds convenient, but here's the trap. If your first fund was a lemon, a high-fee, low-performance disaster, you are now chained to that disaster for your entire career. You drag that dead weight with you for 40 years. The government runs performance tests, and many funds fail. But millions of Australians are still stuck in these zombie funds because they don't know how to cut the chain. Do you see the pattern? In America, they hide the fees in the plan administration. In Canada, they hide them in the MER. In the UK, they hide them in transaction costs. In Australia, they hide them in stapling. The mechanism changes, but the math is identical. The system is designed to be complex so that you feel stupid. They want you to feel overwhelmed. They want you to think, this is too hard. I will just let the professionals handle it. That surrender is exactly what they are banking on. Literally. But you are not alone. This is a global struggle. Whether you are paying in dollars, pounds, or loonies, the enemy is the same. The enemy is apathy. The enemy is blind trust. We have identified the problem. We have analyzed the machine. We have exposed the global conspiracy. Now, there is only one thing left to do. We need to burn it down and build something better. In the final part, I am going to give you the escape plan, the universal solution that works in every country, on every continent. We are going to consolidate, simplify, and minimize. We are going to build the resistance. We have reached the end of the line. Throughout this video, I have shown you how the financial system is designed to strip mine your future. I have shown you the math that steals your Porsche. I have shown you the hidden pipes inside your 401k, the smiling face of the toll booth advisor, and the statistical failure of the active manager. I have shown you that whether you live in New York, Toronto, London, or Sydney, you are being hunted. Now, you have a choice. You can close this video, go back to sleep, and let the termites eat your retirement. Or you can wake up. You can join the resistance. If you are ready to fight, here is your battle plan. It has 3 steps. Step 1, the forensic audit. Tonight, not tomorrow, tonight, I want you to log into every single retirement account you have. Find the fee disclosure document. Find the expense ratio. If you see a number higher than 0.5%, you are paying for a luxury service and getting a discount result. Stop being polite. Stop assuming they know better. Treat your portfolio like a crime scene. Find the weapon. Step 2, the great consolidation. Most late starters have a trail of financial debris behind them. An old 401k from a job you left 10 years ago. A random savings account you forgot about. A pension pot gathering dust in the UK. The system loves this chaos. Chaos generates fees. Bring it all home. Consolidate. In the US, roll those old 401ks into a low-cost IRA, unless you need the rule of 55. In the UK, combine your pots into a SIPP. In Australia, find your lost super and merge it. One login, one dashboard, one fortress. You cannot defend a castle if your walls are scattered across 5 different cities. Step 3, the index revolution. This is the nuclear option. You are going to fire the active manager. You are going to stop trying to beat the market, and you are going to be the market. You are going to move your money into low-cost, broad market index funds or ETFs. In the US, you are looking for total stock market index funds. In Canada, you want all-in-one ETFs that bypass the high MERs. This is the ultimate hack. You pay 0.03% instead of 2.0%. You get the market return. You compound your wealth, not their commission. This shift is not just mathematical, it is psychological. For 40 years, they told you that you were helpless. They told you that finance was rocket science and that you needed a guru in a suit to hold your hand. They lied. Finance is not rocket science, it is grocery shopping. And you have been paying Michelin star prices for a bag of rice. You are now the CEO of your own life. You are the architect of your own rescue. This channel, Blue Stewie, is not just a YouTube channel. It is a headquarters for people who are tired of being the prey. We are the 1%, not the billionaires, but the 1% of people who refuse to pay the 1% fee. If this video opened your eyes, I need you to do 2 things. First, hit the subscribe button. Not because I need the validation, but because the algorithm hates this information. It wants to sell you ads for high-fee credit cards. We need to force this truth into the feed. Second, share this video with one person you love who is still asleep. Send it to your dad, your sister, your colleague who trusts their guy at the bank too much. Wake them up. We are just getting started. In one of the next videos, we are going to attack the other giant that threatens your retirement, the healthcare industry. I'm going to show you how to hack medical bills, negotiate hospital debt, and maybe even find a retirement paradise where a doctor's visit doesn't cost a mortgage payment. The system is rigged, but we are smarter. I am Blue Stewie. Welcome to the Resistance. Class dismissed.